Hello everybody, welcome. It's great to have you here. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate your time because I know time is such a valuable commodity that most of us don't really spend as effectively as we can. So my promise to you today is to do my best to make sure that your time with me is valuable. That's really my goal for today. I'm not here to sell you anything. There's no sort of pitch. If you want to meet up afterwards to talk about your business and what you're doing and how you market yourself and so on, very happy to do that. But other than that, it's just going to be sheer content based on what I think is interesting anyway. My 30 plus years of providing advice for small businesses. It doesn't seem like yesterday, honestly. It's been over 30 years, 31 years in May. I've worked with over 10,000 businesses in hundreds of different industries. I specialize in helping people in what I loosely call the helping industry. And I've literally done that all over the world. And I've had some great results. That's what business, or certainly marketing, is all about. It's about creating results. It's not about, getting more likes on Facebook or something. What really matters is do you get any results as a consequence of your action. So welcome, thank you for being here. Today we're going to talk about something that you've probably had to be on the planet Mars to not have heard of, and that is obviously AI, artificial intelligence, and how we can use it. And there's a lot of scaremongering about it, I think. And yes, it's true, it could be used for all sorts of bad things. From anything from developing, Terminator type stuff, used in wars and things like that. But it can also be used in the medical industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, and probably just about every other industry you could possibly name. So assuming we're going to use it in an intelligent way, then let's talk about how to do so. And today, obviously, being a marketer, being someone who helps people grow their business, I'm going to talk about it from that point of view. So I've got various slides to show you today. I'm going to keep this down to roughly about quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. I don't want to take too much of your time. And I would suggest that if you do want to know more about AI or digital marketing, growing your business, that you book a meeting with me, and I'll be very happy to talk to you. So here we go. First thing, a bit of context. Firstly, one of the most important things that I can tell you about AI is probably to make sure that you use one or two or a few different AI tools. There are so many of them out there right now, guys, and it's like, if you try to master, if I said to you, right, okay, I want you to be the world champion at tennis, table tennis, badminton, squash, and let's throw in football and rugby as well. Now, how well do you think you do? And the answer is probably not very well. We need to specialize. We need to specialize in something. Now, what it is for you is entirely up to you. There are, what I call the main AIs, things like ChatGPT and so on and so forth. There are AIs that will produce you videos and so on, and will even develop software. You name it, and almost AI will do it. One of the keys, I think, once you've decided which are the top few or one AI that you're going to use, one of the keys is making sure that you prompt AI well. What do I mean by that? Let me just give you an example from a world of marketing. If I went onto ChatGPT and said to it, based on what you know about me, can you write me a website page? It'll probably do a good job because it does know about me, because I've used it. It knows, or uploaded into ChatGPT is everything from my website to my blog to my everything. It knows me. I'm online. I'm fairly prolific in terms of getting my name and my company out there online. So it will know a lot about me. So it would produce probably a half decent web page. But actually what I wanted was a page to promote my new Kickstart program, which is a program for startup businesses. But I didn't really prompt it well enough. I didn't tell it, what specifically should be in that page. I didn't tell it how I like the page structured with the use of pictures, and I want a place to put a video, and I want a load of bullets on there talking about the benefits to startups in terms of the product, which is the Kickstart program. I didn't tell it I wanted some testimonials on there from satisfied clients. I didn't tell it that I wanted a really good call to action, and I wanted that near the top of the page as well as the usual bottom of the page, where often people don't read, and so on and so forth. I didn't also tell it who this is for. If I said, right, this is for people who are consultants, advisors, coaches, trainers, professional service firms, and people in the helping industry, it would have a better clue as to writing what it is that I want it to write. Are you with me here? I don't want to go on about this for too long, but it is the most important thing. Somebody once told me that think of ChatGPT and or any other AI website, regard it as a new member of the team who's like a marketing assistant type level person. So they're not, 30 years experience in marketing. And they're really, really keen to help. They'll do whatever they can to help. But right now, they're not that good. That's the way to prompt AI. And he then said, and then make sure that you check everything. That's how you deal with somebody that was new. If you went to somebody that was new and said, right, write me a website or a web page about this, and this is who it's targeted at, and so on, you let them go away and do it, and then you triple check it to make sure it's as good as could be. Does that make sense? I'm hallucinating that you're saying yes, it does, and we'll move on to the next thing. So improved output, improved input, and then refinement produces improved output. So in other words, don't just take the first version that ChatGPT gives you as gospel, right? It's gone and looked for something for you, because that's what it does. It goes and looks for something, it brings it back, but it might not be perfect. And even if you think it is, say to ChatGPT, that's fantastic, thanks for doing that, and can you recommend 3 improvements to what you've already done? Or can you go and find, or can you do it in the style of a certain person, right? So for example, in marketing, there's a guy called Jay Abraham. Now, Jay charges, if you want to hire him, $50,000 an hour. That was what he was charging a few years ago. I don't know what he charges right now. $50,000 an hour. What would you say to Jay? Work as fast as you can, Jay. But seriously, if you spoke to ChatGPT and said, I'd like you to rewrite this web page in the style that Jay Abraham would write it, right? Again, what's it going to do? It's going to check out all the stuff that Jay Abraham's got on the internet and try and come back with it written more like he'd write it, and people pay him thousands upon thousands of pounds or dollars for his expertise. So it really is important, the context and the iteration, what you ask it to do. It's like rubbish in, rubbish out. I'm sure you've heard that many times. And that's really important, I think. Why does it matter? AI is a productivity amplifier. It's not magic. It's not, oh, isn't this amazing? Yes, it is amazing. But it's, for me, it saves me a phenomenal amount of time. I like to use the 80-20 rule with AI. So if I need to say, for example, I need to write 10 emails to go out once per week over the next 10 weeks, I'll basically give AI a good remit of exactly what I'm looking for, what each email needs to do. I'll tell it and explain and so on and so forth. I then let it do it, saving me 80% of my time. And then the 20% is human. It's me, or it's perhaps one of my team who are going to look over it and make sure it's right and improve it in any way. And then they might go back to AI and say, look, this is where we are now. Is there anything else you think we can do better? Okay. So, there's a big scare about, oh, AI is going to take my job. I won't be in business this time next year because of AI. No, you won't be in business this time next year because your competitor is using AI a lot better than you are. That's the truth. Okay. So this is not a choice, in my opinion. I'm just telling you what I think here, guys, and I'm trying to help you. This AI is not an option, I believe. You can use it or you can not use it, but if you don't use it, you're probably going to get left behind. So effective users outperform you if you don't use it. They're going to do things quicker, they're going to do it better, and they're going to do it at a lot less cost. So, really important. Now, I was listening to another guy called Frank Kern. And by the way, I listen to all the world's leading sales, marketing, and business development experts. And I've been doing that for 30 years. That's how I know this stuff. This is not Steve Mills's idea. These are ideas that I'm sharing with you now from the world's leading sales, marketing, and business development people like Jay Abraham, Frank Kern, who I'm just about to talk to you about. Frank was recently saying in a video that he's managed to get rid of something like 80% of his staff due to AI. Now you maybe think, well, that's terrible, isn't it? But it's 80% of his costs probably, or certainly 80% of his staffing costs. You make an ethical decision on that, but we could all do with saving some money, no doubt. The biggest risk as far as AI is concerned is doing nothing. I really do believe that quite strongly, guys. If you don't take advantage of this, you're going to get left behind. And this is, but when I say this, I'm talking about AI. Excuse me. And my question to you is, how quick is this moving? Oh, it's unbelievable. There's a new AI out every day. I got swept up at the end of 2025 in finding the new AI. I was coming to my results mastery group every week with guys, I found this new AI. It's brilliant. It'll do this, this, and this. And then the following week, guys, I got 2 new AIs for you this week. Let me show you how these work. And I think within my group, there's a little bit of overwhelm, and Steve's just about lost it, I think, because he's, each week he keeps coming with a new AI. Now I'm coming with, let's look at ChatGPT and let's have a look at what it can do that we don't know. And by the way, if you're on ChatGPT and that's your preferred AI, then great. But I'll tell you this, you're not using 90% of it. And I say that just based on what I see on ChatGPT and what it can do, and what I'm learning from the best marketers in the world. Okay, so you're not using any more than 10% of what it is truly capable of doing. For example, did you know that that ChatGPT can book appointments in your diary? I bet you didn't. Okay, that's just one example. By the way, where did you think I got all these PowerPoint slides from? These here. all these different ones. Well, I just got them there as an example on ChatGPT. Took me probably about 10 seconds to produce the slide that you're looking for. Sorry, that you're looking at right now. You know, so there's loads of things it will do that we're perhaps not aware of. So the biggest AI mistakes: treating AI like Google, expecting instant factual answers without context. You know, you can go to Google and type in marketing advice. If you go to ChatGPT and type in marketing advice, it'll come up with something, but it won't necessarily come up with what you want. Using too many tools, already spoke about that. You know, you don't want 48 different AIs right now. You want one, and then learn that, and then learn another one, then learn another one, and so on and so forth. No strategy before output. Generating content without a clear plan. Tell AI what you want. You know, it's no use saying stuff like, you know, well, write me an email about my XYZ product so I can send it out to these customers. What's the goal? Well, send me an email that will increase the number of inquiries from 1 in 50 to 1 in 20. That's more specific. That's a strategy. What's this about? Why am I doing this? I'm writing an email. I want you to write me an email in order to improve conversion rate. Okay. And lastly, there, blind trust, accepting that what it says is absolutely right. It's going to do its best for you, but it's also going to make mistakes. So you know, it's well worth going and asking where it found this information from. So if it's like an information, where did it get it from? Is it from the world's leading expert in something, or is it from somebody who's put something on the web from, I don't know, some college somewhere, who's a 16-year-old student who's added something onto the web? You know, we don't know. So ask and make sure that you check everything that you're doing. By the way, this is what the slides look like before I did them using ChatGPT. So all I did is produce the slide, put some words in it, and then I ran it through ChatGPT using Canva. By the way, you can synchronize Canva with ChatGPT, and that's what I did. And it came out with a variety of different designs, which I wanted to use just to show you. So what is AI? It's basically a prediction engine. It's not a thinking machine. It won't outthink you, it'll outpredict you. So it's very important that you provide the right instructions and constraints. You know, only write 300 words. Find the information on on Dan Kennedy, right? World leading marketing expert. Make sure the quality of the input determines the quality of the output. So the more information you can give it, the better the output, the more valuable it's going to be. Another thing about prompting, because this is really key, guys, you're probably gathering right now, is to tell AI who it should be. So I might go on to ChatGPT and say something like, I'd like you to write me an email, and I want you to do it from the perspective of the fact that you are the world's leading copywriter within the automotive industry. You know everything there is to note about Ferrari cars, and I'd like you to write me an email campaign in order to get people more excited and more interested in coming and buying and taking a look at my Ferrari. I'm going to be selling my Ferrari on eBay, and I want the words on the advert on eBay to be truly world class. That's an example of how I would prompt AI as an actor, as a person, if you will, that knows what it is that I've asked it to find. If not, it'll just go anywhere and have a look and find something and then come back with it. Does that make sense? I really hope it does. Oh, by the way, apologies. I've just noticed here that we've got some sort of gobbledygook under the slides there. So it's, whilst I'm telling, here's a perfect example here actually of not checking. I did this particular slide a few minutes before I was about to start, and it's come up with, you know, I mean, if you read the little bit, what is it? Stenifies from persona and identify nerve. Yeah, it's come up with a load of rubbish. Yeah, so that's a good example. I mean, I did this on purpose, clearly. No, I didn't. It was my mistake. But a good example of what not to do with AI. Make sure you double check it, because that's really, really important. Yeah, so use that. Input, context, data, constraints. Yeah, we've already spoke about that, with a clear mission and outcome. So again, really important. Why context and iteration matter. Longer prompts usually outperforms short ones. Reuse conversations and refine outputs, and treat it like a junior member of the team. I've already said that. So plan for you for the next 7 days. Choose an AI tool, learn it, really learn the the AI model that you're going to use. Apply, iterate, and refine. It's not going to give you its best work probably on the first time. It'll improve it if you ask it to. Ask it to go. I'll tell you what I did the other day. I went to my website and I took the link to my homepage, and I said to it, I said, what I'd like is a report outlining 10 things that I need to do to this web page in order to improve it. Sorry, no, I didn't. I said in order to improve the conversion rate of the website, so that people who are coaches, consultants, advisors, accountants, solicitors, and so on, are more likely to make an inquiry. So I did do that bit really well, I think. And then I inserted the link to the domain, and it came up with this fantastic report outlining 10 things that I need to do. I then asked it to improve that. Is there anything else that I need to do? And it came up with another 6. So I now had 16 things that I could do with my website to improve the conversion rate. So just absolutely fantastic. And lastly, momentum beats mastery. I hate that because, I'm all about results mastery, getting the best results you possibly can. But at the same time, I understand the concept here, and that is getting stuff out. That I will tell you that today with me has been a total and utter waste of time until and unless you take action. That's the only thing that's going to get results. So take action. Get some momentum going, and that will get you good results. AI myths and reality. AI replaces inefficiency, not people. AI must be verified, and AI amplifies your existing strategy. So final thoughts are: AI saves time, money, and effort. Not happy with your results? Fix the prompt. Tell it what exactly you want. Someone using AI properly is your competition. It's not AI. AI is not your competition. People using it effectively are your competition. AI will not put you out of business, but someone using it better could very well do so. So let me just come back into the system here. That's it. So we're back in the room, as it were. Thank you for listening. If you do want to know more, I'm not just an AI guy. I'm fundamentally a marketing guy, but also sales training, advice, coaching, and so on. I do have a program called Results Mastermind Program, which you can access. It typically would help grow your small business. Not if you're Vodafone, but if you're a small business, you can expect to see a return on your investment of somewhere between 50% and 100% growth in the next 12 months. Now, that might sound a little bit hyperbole, but they're fairly typical results that I managed to achieve with my clients. So if you want to talk to me about how you might be able to achieve that, please feel free to get in touch. The best way of doing that is to go to my website, which you can see on the wall behind me, or down in the corner, results-mastery.com. Get yourself, there's a big gold button there. Just click on that, get yourself a one-to-one meeting booked in online with me, and I look forward to speaking to you then. Thanks ever so much for listening, and look forward to speaking to you next time. I do these, by the way, twice a week, on Monday and Thursday, currently at 1 o'clock. Times may change in the future, but if you can, try and make the next one. Thanks very much for listening.